Hey guys, welcome to the show. With me, I have a special guest, author and lecturer Ronnie McMullen. He's been an on-air personality for over 11 years, and he always picks subjects that are not necessarily covered by mainstream media, and you're going to find out why in just a second. Now, Ronnie brings a magnetic energy and a devoted passion to his listeners each week as he takes you through the theater of life. Ronnie, welcome to the show.
Glad to be with you, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I want to dive into the meat of this thing, and I don't want to waste anybody's time here. So we got this election coming up. We got Hillary, and apparently it's versus Donald Trump. What do you think about this thing?
Well, I think everybody wanted Donald Trump, even you look at the riots and all the stuff that's going on about Donald Trump. They're really just saying we want Donald Trump. I mean, it's really kind of funny. And then Hillary, I think the establishment so badly wants Hillary. And so we have these two players, but I have a funny feeling, and I could be wrong here, and people might totally disagree, but I could be wrong here. It feels like they're wanting us to pick, and they're basically saying, look, Donald Trump, we really don't like him. He's not establishment, blah, blah, blah. I kind of feel he possibly is. How can you become a multi-billionaire and be running for president and not have some kind of connection with the establishment? That's just my thoughts.
Right, because the basic tenor of the people who are backing Trump is that he's not establishment. As a matter of fact, they're saying that he's completely against the establishment. I mean, let me remind people about a couple things regarding Donald Trump. He is a statist. He is an authoritarian. He is against individual rights. Case in point, in 1994, he was trying to build this casino in New Jersey, and this elderly widow had a house. Do you remember this, Ronnie?
No, I didn't.
This elderly widow had a house where he wanted to build this casino parking lot, and so he initiated he violated her property rights, basically, by going to the city and telling them that she needs to tear this house down. Well, she got a lawyer and actually beat it. She beat it on the grounds of the Constitution, and so that house is still sitting there with Trump Tower in the background. But John Stossel did a really, really good interview with Donald Trump back in '94 at the time, and completely exposed this guy for the authoritarian state as he is. And that's the kind of guy that people want as president. He's no different than Romney would have been. He's no different than Obama is, because the bottom line is a statist is still a statist. And if you're going to go after individual rights, you're going to go after the very foundation of which this country was supposed to be built on.
Well, I look at it this way. I listen to Sean Hannity sometimes, and I know that's a boo crowd, but that's okay. And it's not because I agree with him, but I always listen to some of what the establishment's pawns, which Sean Hannity unfortunately is, just like Glenn Beck and many others. That's what the establishment wants them to say. So he's been talking about Trump as against the establishment. That right there puts a big flag up that says, no, he is establishment. Trump is establishment. So it's just a matter of, and he's a wild cannon. He's got a temper on him. Of course, Hillary does too. So I can't imagine if something really went down with Putin or China or something like that, and all of a sudden he gets mad and starts pushing buttons. It's like, that could be a scary deal.
Yeah, truly a scary deal. But I was reading an article the other day, and I wasn't really aware of it until I read it, that Paul Ryan is not going to throw, or at least up to this point, is not throwing his support behind the Republican nominee, which is Trump. What do you think about that?
I think that's interesting. And again, I could be wrong. Again, back to Sean Hannity, he was toting that Ted Cruz was against establishment, and I don't know of anybody that could be more establishment than Ted Cruz and Heidi Cruz. If you look at their background, working with the Bush administration, the CFR, hello, Dolly, they are so establishment. So Sean Hannity,
am I hearing right that Ted Cruz's wife was some higher echelon individual in Goldman Sachs?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And this is where we had the 2008 fall, and Goldman Sachs came out looking like a beauty.
Yep.
So we have a lot of issues going on where they're lying to us. And the media, and you know this, Brian, the mass media is always lying to us. So to say that Trump is against establishment is I can't buy it. I would like to buy it. I would like to think we're going in the right direction. But we're going to see something, too, with who he pulls for his vice president. That's going to say a lot, too.
Do you have any predictions on that?
I have no predictions on it, but it wouldn't surprise me that it would be Ted Cruz.
You think Trump would pick Ted Cruz as a running mate?
I think it's very possible, and that will show a lot of colors too. And the reason I say that is not because he's against establishment, but Ted Cruz had a lot of followers, right? So if you put them on the same ticket, you could have a beautiful thing, supposedly, okay? Not in reality, but in the theater, you could have a great thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people say, no, Ted Cruz is wonderful. They don't know he's pro-establishment. He's pawned himself as against establishment. So, and Heidi is the next Hillary Clinton. That's in my opinion. I hate to say that because her stomping grounds and my stomping grounds are pretty much the closest place. So I hope I'm wrong there, but it's looking not so good.
Well, just to let the audience know, Ronnie, you and I have never talked before today. As a matter of fact, the only time that we discussed anything was right before I pressed the record button. We had about a 10-minute conversation. So I don't really know what your political stance is, and you don't know what mine is. I've read a little bit of your bio, but and this is going to be very interesting, and see if you agree with this. But I think there's really just two kinds of, as far as the realm of politics, there's two kinds of politicians out there. You got your authoritarians and you got your statists. And what a lot of people I think don't understand is that all you have to do is judge that politician that's sitting behind that pulpit or whatever and spewing his whatever he's saying and measure it against not so much the Constitution, but just measure it against individual rights, because really that's what the Constitution is supposed to be. It's supposed to secure secure individual rights. So do you see it as that? Is it that clear cut to you as well, that there's statists on this side and authoritarian? I'm sorry, you have your statists, which are authoritarians, and then you have your anti-authoritarians. So you got two camps, statist and non-statist. Do you see it as like that too?
I do too. I think that this goes back to, people will probably maybe disagree with this, but oh well, that's the way I am. I'm the canon. This is a spiritual issue. This is, now, I understand this is not a religious issue. This is a spiritual issue. When you have somebody ruling over somebody else, this becomes very spiritual. And this is not necessarily a good spiritual thing. In other words, you're cutting freedoms off. You're cutting people down to where they have no freedom, they have no choice, they have no nothing. And the establishment has always been about, let's make it look like the people are choosing, just like we're choosing health care. Oh, we want Obamacare, but we really didn't want Obamacare. We wanted to be taken care of. There's a difference. So we want to be taken care of. Okay, Obamacare will do that. Obamacare's not done that, not even close. And now we have doctors dropping off like flies. We can go on. That's a whole nother subject. So I think you're dead on. And until the people stand up for their rights, and I don't mean stand up in the streets with guns and all this kind of stuff, but stand up and start saying, okay, we need to do whatever we need to do to get these cronies out of office and put our people, okay? What is it the Joker says in Batman? Did you trust your people? So it's all about the people and where we stand, and we're not standing. If you look back in 1992, Clinton was trying to push, clear back then, the healthcare program. But we stood up as a people and said no. But now we have Obamacare, so we stopped standing up and saying no. So there's the problem. It's really partially our fault.
Okay, hey Ronnie, in addition to being a radio personality and a major force for exposing the corruption going on in the government, as well as the deception of mainstream media, you own sort of a nutrition company. And the reason I bring this up is because I believe the most important gift we possess is our health. I mean, if we have everything the world can afford us, the money, family, status, relationships, God, even if we were able to achieve a government-free utopian society where all of our laboring energies weren't taxed by the barrel of a gun and we didn't have good health to enjoy all those blessings, it's pretty much worthless. So I kind of say all that to say this. I've been doing a little bit of research, and the second leading cause of death is cancer, and a major component of that statistic is colon cancer. So what can your nutrition company give to people who may be listening right now who are up against probably a cancer scenario or just a flat out, in general, bad health scenario?
Well, if we're talking about if you already have cancer, everything is a help. But when you're about preventing, the more nutritious that you put your body into nutrition, into health, into exercise, so on and so forth, this is one of the biggest things that's going to help you. And the biggest thing is the colon gets clogged. It's kind of like the motherboard of your ship, you might say. And so when colon gets clogged and you say, oh, well, I eat good food and whatever, but we sometimes don't know what we're eating. So when that colon gets clogged, then we get in trouble because our organs are not drawn from the nutrients, so on and so forth, and we get jammed up. So long story short, the tea, get the tea, super strength tea, is probably the number one product to clean your colon, give you energy, help you with disease, build your immune system and everything else. So it's a wonderful thing. That I drink it. I have for almost 10 years.
Well, I know a couple YouTubers, and they're calling me like, this is like, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago, and I had a couple YouTubers in a row call me and say, Brian, have you ever tried this Life Change Tea stuff? And I was like, I haven't even heard of it. What are you talking about? And they're like, you got to get this stuff. You got to get in touch with Ronnie. Somehow you got in touch with me and you sent me this tea. Honestly, man, I underestimated this stuff. As a matter of fact, to the extent of, we have a mutual friend, to all you guys who are watching, we have a mutual friend named Ian. And when Ronnie sent me this tea, I followed the instructions on the back of the package exactly the way it said. And the stuff looked so weak to me. Ronnie, I don't think you know this unless Ian told you and I don't know it. But I took a picture of this cup of tea because it says you're supposed to let it steep for, 8 hours. So I let it steep for 8 hours. I did all the instructions and I poured it and it just looked so dang weak. And I said, Ian, is this what this is supposed to look like? He said, yes, that's what it looks like. Just try it. So I downed this glass of tea and God, I mean, within hours, I'm going to the bathroom and stuff is coming out of me. I mean, sorry to be so graphic, but stuff is coming out of me that I did not know was in there, man. And I did not, honestly, I didn't feel good the first day because my stomach was a little bit cramped up and I went to the bathroom, I don't know, my girlfriend knows, 8 to 10 times. I don't know, it was so much that my butt started hurting and I had to go out and buy some toilet paper. So no kidding, guys, no kidding. This stuff will, if you want to be cleaned out, this stuff will clean you out. The second day I started feeling better. The third day, God, I felt like I had energy. I felt lighter. I lost a little bit of weight. I got on the scale. I lost like a pound or a pound and a half or something like that. But this stuff really made a difference. So let me ask you, man, seriously, somebody's out there going, oh yeah, well, I can do that with laxatives or whatever. What sets this apart from anything else that you can get on the market?
Because a laxative will only move a certain amount of your stuff and makes it smooth to go through. The tea will basically get all of the parasites, all the little stuff that's inside that's hidden. It'll go after it. It'll attack it. In fact, when I say that, if you take a laxative, okay, and you're on, say, pharmaceuticals, that laxative will not take the pharmaceutical out. If you drink my tea exactly with a pharmaceutical, in other words, you're taking some kind of blood pressure pills or whatever, and you take my tea exact same time, it will flush out that pharmaceutical. It sees the pharmaceutical as an attack. So if you took vitamin C, it would not see that as an attack because it knows, I don't know how the herbs know, but they do, it knows this is good for your body, that this is good nutrients. So it doesn't take anything bad out, and it takes everything, or it doesn't take anything that's good in your body, it takes everything that's bad in your body. So the tea will attack everything that a laxative would never touch. The laxative is just the main freight, and you might say my tea is a total UPS system.
Okay, well, let's just talk about how do we get this stuff. Because guys, seriously out there, I am not just trying to push this thing. This stuff works. I would not even be saying this if I didn't try it. This stuff will absolutely clean you out. If you're looking for a cleansing program, as a matter of fact, I was telling Ronnie before we went on the air, if I was going to do a video in about a month about how I went from roughly 14% body fat to down to 7% and just felt really healthy. I was just going to give 5 points. I'm going to add a point to that, and I'm actually going to put it on the beginning of the program. The first thing you need to do before you get on an exercise or fitness program or nutritional program, dieting, whatever, you need to cleanse your colon out because, like I said, the second leading cause of death in the world is cancer, and a huge component of that is colon cancer. And if you can get all that crap out of your system, then the food that you're going to eat, the nutritious food that you're going to eat on whatever diet program you go on is going to be so much more easily absorbed into your body, and you're going to see better gains. I'm convinced. I have not tried it yet as far as my weight training program because I've only been on the tea about I don't know, about a week or so. I feel awesome though. The feeling that you'll get from just being cleaned out is unspeakable. So how do they get the tea, Ronnie?
You go to the website, getthetea.com. They can use the phone number, and that's fine. But the best way is to go to the website, because you can search. A lot of people want a deal. There's a lot of sales, a lot of good stuff. And we're a small supplement company. And when I say small, we don't carry every supplement there is. We carry certain ones that target certain issues. And that's what I'm after. People are sick right now, and they're struggling. And that's what I'm after, is helping those people. So you got stomach issues, and it's all read. You can read it all on the website. But the tea is the #1 product that we move out of there. And I'll tell you something, all the testimonies are real. I don't pay for those testimonies. They come to me naturally. They come to me because we're doing the right thing. So getthetea.com. It's getthetea.com. And I always say as a joke, get the damn tea.
Seriously, get this stuff, guys. This stuff works. And Ronnie, while you were talking, I went ahead and put some pictures up and kind of was scrolling through and showed people what a diseased colon looks like. Guys, if you got a diseased colon, you need to fix that thing. You need to fix it now. And the best product that I've seen, it totally works, is this Life Change Tea. Ronnie, any departing words? Because I mean, like, there is one thing that I was thinking about. We have genetically modified food today. We got chemicals dumped in our atmosphere. You know, we got chemtrails. We got fluoride in our water supply. Is this Life Change Tea going to kind of help, the immune system with that? Does it affect the immune system?
It helps the immune system. It helps flush out the heavy metals. Okay. And as we go forward, I'll teach about that. I'll teach about how we can get rid of our heavy metals, how we can get rid of all our stuff. But that tea will take out some of the heavy metals. It takes out some of the fluorides. But here's the thing. People go, oh, I'm going to get the tea. They feel really good. They do it for a month, maybe 2 months, and then they quit. Okay? That's the stop. That's the killer, because you're still getting bombarded by the chemicals in the air, the chemicals in the water. So it never stops. They and them are not going to stop. So we should getthetea.com.
Okay, Ryan, thanks a lot for joining us today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brian.